My sister hates my idea of having all my wedding guests wear monochrome colors while my husband and I wear gold because, according to her, it would be a show-off just like our whole childhood was. So I'm, 24F, having a hard time seeing where I went wrong, but me and my husband-to-be, 26M, both struggle with NPD, narcissistic personality disorder, so I figured an outside opinion might be helpful, since neither of us tends to understand when we're wrong right away. I'm getting married, yay, in December to the absolute love of my life, and we both want it to be the most spectacular wedding the world has ever seen because we both really love attention. I never used to feel comfortable admitting that, but ever since I've been with him I've been able to really accept that, and it's made my life so much more fun. We decided that instead of having me in a white dress like all the other white dresses, and him in the same tuxedo as every man in attendance, it would look really spectacular if we both dressed head to toe in gold. What we want is for all our guests to wear either black, white, or gray, and for us to be the only ones wearing color. I figured that not only would I look like a princess, but I'd also be dancing with a prince instead of just some guy, and he's so into the idea that he remembers it as being his. We just love that idea of a sea of monochrome, and then us in the middle of it all. The only thing is, my sister, 26F, has been absolutely furious at us ever since the clothing requirements came out. First, she said this was proof that I never changed and I was being controlling again. Basically, that asking guests to wear a specific color was insane. Then she started making digs about my hair and how I was just doing this to show off and asked if I planned to have her dye her hair too. I did not. We're both blonde but mine is a bit more yellow blonde, and my husband is dyeing his hair for the wedding. I admitted to that, but also pointed out that it's my wedding and it's normal. Then she accused me of trying to upstage everyone else's wedding dress, basically implying that I was trying to get everyone to show up in wedding dresses, so I could compete with them and make myself look even better by comparison. This was not ever the plan. When I mentioned what she said to my husband-to-be, his eyes kind of lit up in this really cute way and he said we should encourage people to actually wear their own wedding clothes, but we decided it would probably be actually terrible of us. We decided to let our families wear copper if they wanted, so they would stand out as a nice accent to gold, and then my sister would also get to stand out. I was totally willing to pay, and said as much. That was when she called me a spoiled child, and said she wasn't like me and wasn't in this for herself, and wanted all the guests to be able to wear normal wedding clothes and that nobody in their right mind would be comfortable wearing white to a wedding. Am I a jerk? Update. My husband and I just recently celebrated our first anniversary, and I was thinking about all the dress code drama when I remembered this account and thought it would be fun to give y'all a little one-year update. After I made my original post, my husband and I decided to contact my sister and parents and have a sit-down discussion about the situation. He offered to take everyone out to eat, and we had this really long discussion about my sister and my relationship. My sister said she made a promise to herself never to let that happen again, and that if I wanted her in my life, I needed to be a normal person. My husband told her that if she was going to keep humiliating me for something I did as a child, then she wasn't a normal person either. It became a bit chaotic. My dad took our side and said my sister's taking things too far. My mom took my sister's side and said that, since I have NPD, I'm not capable of real change and if they ever give in at all they'll be hurting my sister. It ended with my sister calling my father an enabler and threatening to cut him off. It wasn't a great dinner overall. What surprised me is my sister's husband. She called me the next day at his recommendation, and we talked for a long time. She told me that she doesn't want to feel like a side character in the My Name show, and that was how it was for all our childhoods. I told her that I feel like I'm not allowed to have meaningful relationships with any of our family, since she restricts what I say and do and we're around them. I pointed out that she controls my clothes for like every family event, and this is my wedding, and she admitted that was a good point. Eventually, she agreed to attend the wedding in a really cute black and white checkerboard dress, and leave if it became too much. The wedding itself was incredible. It was the second best day of my life so far, and my sister said she was genuinely happy for me. I felt like a princess in a fairy tale the whole day, and my husband was the handsomest prince in the universe. The whole thing was under the stars, it was perfect. I could talk about it forever, but character limits. As a wedding gift, my sister told me that she was going to start letting me wear what I liked at family gatherings, and talk about my accomplishments, and talk about myself when it's just me and her a little. And she has, and it's been great. The only better gift I got that night was my husband himself. This past year has been the best of my life, and I genuinely feel so much better about life and family these days. I'm a girl mom now, and I'm so glad my daughter gets to know her aunt and cousins too. I'm even allowed to babysit for my sister sometimes.